What's up everybody, back again with the Magnum Quest video, and in this one I'm already sounding a lot better than my previous video on the weekend. Holy moly, I got hit with a brick or something, but I'm all better now. In this video it's going to be all about the Forge system, everything you need to know that I know, so you know, together we know. What exactly is the Forge system? Way too much caffeine today, I think my brain just shut down briefly, but let's get it. This video will hopefully be organized and easy to understand. It's going to be broken down into two parts: how to acquire forging resources, and then understanding the Forge system. Timestamps will be available down below in the video description if you just want to jump ahead. Disclaimer, this can all change, as I'm sure they have had numerous player feedback regarding the Forge system, but I'll do my best to give you all the info and my thoughts where certain areas can hopefully change. So for part 1, how to acquire forging resources. Currently in the game, there's two ways. The first way is going to be spending, whether real money or in-game currency, and the second way would be to simply idle dispatch a specific demon. So let's look at the shop. You got the deluxe shop and then the guild shop. In the deluxe shop, you can buy silver drums of fury. However, this is capped at 4 per week at 100 shards each. What is a drum of fury? Well, there's 3 rarities. You got your bronze, your silver, and your gold. The better the rarity, the better the boost in duration and results in more resources. Not necessarily better, but more. This is, after all, a mobile game and a gacha game on top of that, so you're gonna have to deal with those incredibly scary RNG rates. Bronze for 6 hours, the frequency of defeating demons increases by 50%. Silver for 12 hours, the frequency of defeating demons increases by 100%. And then for gold, it's a little bit different. It's going to be for 24 hours and the frequency of defeating demons increases by 200%, so double of silver. So how do you get these? Currently, the only way you can get the bronze drums of fury are from completing the world quest, specifically in the later areas, Dragonbone Mountains and then the Gracious Gift Bay. So once you use up all your bronze drums, that's it. Magician trick, you can't get them anymore at this very moment. If you click, it simply says it's from the world, the hidden treasures. Silver drums of fury I just covered. The only way to acquire these are from the deluxe shop, and remember, these are capped at 4 times a week, totaling 400 shards. So 12 hours times 4, you only get 2 days worth for the entire week. If you click, it simply says it's from the shop. As for the gold drums of fury, well, you guessed it, I'm sure you have, and I showed you as well. The only way to get these is from the weekly merchant rewards, and buying 2, you heard me right, 2 plus 450 shards whoopity-doo for over $20 my currency. You can buy this twice a week, so you can only get these with money. They last 24 hours each, so 2 days worth. Honestly, I've seen better prices from Nintendo, and I grew up with Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I am covered in Nintendo tattoos, from a half arm sleeve to a full chest to a half leg sleeve. They are greedy, but I still buy into them. But this right here, among other things in this April version, they take the cake. But a little more information regarding drums of fury that I gathered from a fellow player. So how these drums of fury affect your demon idle dispatch is it boosts your combat efficiency, meaning how many times in an hour you can defeat said boss. So this example, Dumb Tier. As you can see, it reads the maximum kills per hour is 70, but you aren't guaranteed that 70 unless your average above reads 70 kills an hour. Otherwise, it's just an average. RNG is RNG. You may get 70, you may not get 70. This is your key indicator to maximizing your idle resources. This number may be better on, say, your Fafnir level than whatever your level of Dumb Tier is. It all depends on how effective you want to be for your idle resources and what your purpose is for. If it's simply for the resources like wood, silver, iron, gemstones, starlights, then go with whatever is your highest average kills an hour. If you're looking for specific gear sets and blueprints, focus on that said demon. The bronze drum gives you a tiny boost to your kills per hour, while the silver drum brings it up to the max. The gold drum gets you those max kills per hour and doubles the amount of rewards you would have received in the same time frame. This is how I've had it explained to me, and it may not be correct, but it sounds accurate to me. The max kills per hour for the demons is 70 shown here. This can't be increased even if you're equipping a Drum of Fury. Equipping a drum simply helps reduce the RNG factor of your kills per hour. I think there's a little bit of confusion here with players thinking that if I equip a Drum of Fury, it doesn't matter the rarity, whether bronze, silver, or gold, I'm gonna get more blueprints, more wood, more gear, etc. This is not how this works. What they do is simply improve your kills per hour, which means you get overall more resources. There's still the RNG factor of what those resources you get actually are. You may get 3 more blueprints than normal, you may get 10 more 5-star gear than normal. It's luck of the dice, luck of the RNG rolls. But the drums 100% make a difference in the overall quantity. I've looked at my idle resources when using none compared to using different rarities. It's just the results, aka the quality, vary from person to person. Another thing to keep in mind is your awakened demon level plus your detachment rating. The higher the demon level, the higher the possibility of the detachment rating. Level 15 and 80 being the highest, which gives you the most idle efficiency. To improve your detachment rating, it is solely based off your hero's ascension quality. Bronze tier is 1 star, silver tier is 3, all the way up to max legendary 5. So you're going to want to use your highest ascended heroes in order to reach, like, say 80, because that's the combat rating, which is the sum of the star ratings of your dispatched heroes. I found no correlation in terms of if you put all supports or all DPS to your kills per hour. Let me know down in the comments if you did some testing on this and found there is a difference. So now what would I like to see fixed? Because currently once you run out of the bronze drums of fury from finishing the world 100%, that's it, no more. I would like to see them added to the general store, aka the daily refresh, not the deluxe store. As for the silver, I understand they clearly want to slow everyone's progression down, so keep them in the deluxe store, but allow them to have a chance of showing up in the Awakened Demon idle dispatches seen here. I think this would be neat, and it's not like the forge system is going to be an easy experience anyways, even with this help. And then for the gold, I know they're going to keep this most likely behind a paywall, like mentioned earlier, but I would like to see it added to the magic egg rewards at the very least. Everybody, even free to play, can get 1 hammer a week simply by finishing off the last weekly chest seen here. Obviously they can figure out their own ways, but they need to have more availability for this forging process because there's just way too many sets in this game. Some heroes run the same sets, lots of gear pieces to get, it's just too much. Now let's get into the flames. You can buy the Flame of Truth 3, I guess you're going to call this. This is also capped at 2 per week at 125 shards each. So what are flames? Flames are your only way to reduce your chance of failure during the forging process. So let's say I want to forge this 5-star dagger of Nocturne to legendary. These percent values down here are the success rates. So you can see this means failure. Currently with no flame added, you have a 40% chance to fail, and from my experience, and I'm sure many others, this seems more like 70%, maybe even more. And then you can see for D rating, it's 48%, C rating, it's 9.6%, B rating 1.9%, and then A rating 0.2%. This is definitely confusing, so let's just first focus on the flames, and then I'll get into these ratings after. If you click the upgrade percent button here, you can see for 5-star gear to legendary, you need the Flame of Truth 2. As you can see, you can only get this from paid services and items. Stupid, I know. The only time you were actually able to get some of these was when the Awakened Demons reset, and then you achieved that said requirements for specific levels. As you can see here at level 3, if you achieve all these requirements, you get a Flame of Truth 1. Personally, I've never used this, nor plan to. These are used for increasing the success rate for forging like gold, gold 1, and gold 2 gear. So once you beat level 6 of Citral, Fafnir, and Dumb tier, you would now have 3 Flame of the Truth 2. Sweet, just 3, that's all you get. So going back to the 5-star weapon, this is why this 40% feels more like 70% to me, or even more, because I've failed so many forges. It's just ridiculous as I have no way to reduce this fail percentage. Once you use those 3 silver flames that I just mentioned, you're now stuck with this 40% fail rate. So now let's go to a legendary gear piece, as it's easier for me to visually show you the advantage. So if you're lucky enough to successfully forge your 5-star into legendary like this, you can now use Flame of Truth 3, which are the ones I showed you in the deluxe shop at the beginning, capped at 2, just 2 per week. So how these work is if I add 1, it reduces the fail chance by 10%. So each flame is 10%. So what this means is if you want that 40% to be 0, you need 4 flames like this. Now I can't fail. Personally for me, due to the lack of availability of the flames, after I successfully forge a 5-star gear piece to legendary, I save my Flames of Truth 3, those gold ones, until I get my gear to S rating so I can try to forge into the next rarity. Like I mentioned, I'll get into these different ratings very soon. So as you forge into higher rarities, the flames rarity needed also changes. Currently the highest flame is the Flame of Truth 4, and I'm sure you're probably guessing the only way to get this is from spending money. Well, wrong. These are not available anywhere at this very moment to my knowledge, so unlike the gold drums of fury which are hidden behind a paywall, these actually just don't exist right now to my knowledge. The only reason I have 3 is the same way you got the silver flames, from beating a specific level of the demons. So that's going to be level 12 of Shatral, Fafnir, and Dumptier, seen here. Now what I would like to see fixed, basically the same as what I said about the Drums of Fury, more availability, otherwise we the players are not playing the long game. Meaning I'm not looking at the calendar thinking, oh I can't wait till I just have 1 maxed forge piece in 2023 or 2024, however long it takes. This is a super fun concept. What we're playing right now is here's your game map, delete. I'm just being honest here, and I know I'm not alone in this. This game is not well known enough or successful enough to implement these see ya in a couple years endgame features. I think if I had to choose what to focus on at this very moment, if you have the shards to do so, I would focus on the silver drum from the shop. The reason for this is because it boosts your resources gained from awakened gear demons. The more loot, the better, and I have no idea if or when will they adjust one or the other. And now moving over to the guild shop, as you can see here, you have 8 spots where blueprints can appear. The bottom 2 is for gear pieces, and the third is for the gold artisan coins, aka enhancement XP. So here's my issue. You have 8 spots for blueprints. This is also a weekly shop, meaning you cannot refresh this. Currently in the game, there is 11 sets of gear. You have your 9 original gear, and then the 2 new sets I went over in my previous video, Doom and Immortal sets. Each set has 4 gear pieces. You have your weapon, you have your headpiece, your chest piece, and your boots. This means there's a total of 44 blueprints in the game. So why do I bring this up? So let's take example my shale. I'm currently looking for 2 Demon Hooves blueprints so I can try and successfully forge a legendary piece to complete my set. Going back to the guild shop, this means I have 8 chances weekly out of the 44 blueprints to hopefully see those Demon Hooves blueprints show up. Also keep in mind, you can have duplicate blueprints which lowers your odds even more, like this. As you can see this week, I got 2 wild growth headpiece blueprints that showed up for me. Now I understand the shop isn't meant to specifically look for blueprints, but rather have an overall chance of blueprints. Still though, for a weekly shop, having only 8 chances of blueprints out of 44 total in the game, the odds are stacked against you in favor of the Magnum quest house per usual. What I would like fixed is unless they make changes to the drop rates of blueprints from awakened gear demons or make the flames actually available in the game, which are the enhancement resources to improve your success chances, then this shop right here needs to become a daily refresh like they changed the general to. Because this was actually a weekly shop when they first released the April new version, and then they later changed this to daily. So now part 2, understand the forge system. I'll be explaining the enhancement, set gear, resonation bonus, and those different ratings such as D, B, C, A. The frustration is about to begin if it hasn't already. So gear piece resonation. Enhancement level of your gear is seen here and boosts your basic attributes. You need gear of a minimum of +3 and the maximum is +8. However, most players will have the +5 max as seen on my hero. The reason for this is because those later enhancement levels unlock after you forge your gear and improve the rarity. In order to be able to go up to +6, you need a legendary +1 piece of gear. For +7, you're going to need a legendary +2 piece of gear, and then for +8, you're going to need the max, which is a legendary +3 piece of gear. So what are the basic attributes affected? The easiest way to show this is look at my ISI stats. Health, let's go with 6,964,000, attack 710,000, and defense 80,000. Hopefully I'm right about this and this is all that it includes. If I'm not, mention it down in the comments so others can see. Now watch my health drop when I remove my weapon. Keep in mind the weapon doesn't add health. This basic attribute boost is solely on the attribute stats you can get from your gear, which is health, attack, and defense. These are all affected from the Gear Resonation boost, regardless if a gear piece doesn't have one of those. As you can see, my HP now dropped to 6,942,000. That's my way of thinking. I don't like math, so I'm not going to get into it. I just wanted to point out what those percent boosts affect. Now set attributes refer to the percent boost of these stats. Now you need the full set equipped for this to work, and this is what you're mainly going to be looking forward to, as there's a wide range to choose from. It requires a complete 5-star gear set minimum to get that 10%, and then you require a full legendary forged gear set for 20%, etc, etc. One thing to note is, unlike the enhancement levels, you do not lose your 5-star set boost of 10% if, say, you upgrade only one piece to legendary. As you can see by my Issy right here, I have a legendary forged headpiece and still get the 5-star set bonus. Enhancement, however, you will indeed lose your basic attribute bonus if you do not have all +3 or all +4, etc. If you have 3 pieces at +3 and 1 at +5, you're only going to get that +3 bonus. That's one thing just to keep in mind when forging gear, because when you go from 5-star to legendary, the stats seen here become better, so the value of your enhancement level decreases as more enhancement XP is needed to keep that, in this example, +5 enhancement level. As you can see, this is going to result in a +3, so I'm going to have to re-enhance this new forged legendary to +5 to keep that resonation bonus. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into how do you actually forge a piece of gear. I'm going to use 5-star gear as an example because that's all I would recommend, as no matter the gear stars, whether 2, 3, or 4, they all require the same blueprints. There is no different quality blueprints, so even if you can't get 5-star gear right now at the moment, maybe you're a new player and you haven't unlocked Awakened Demon level to do so, I would wait personally. Save all your blueprints for 5-star gear, you're gonna need them. So for forging a 5-star gear set piece to legendary, this is gonna be your first step down the rabbit hole. The requirements are seen here. You need 3 blueprints of the gear piece you are trying to forge. So if I want to forge these demon set boots, I need 3 of their blueprints. If you click it, you can see it has a chance to drop from the demon dump tier, or from the guild shop I showed earlier. You can click each demon and then go to idle dispatch to see the gear set pieces they drop. Whatever gear set is shown, those blueprints will also drop. Each demon has 3 different sets except for Ash, who just strictly drops runes. That's it, unfortunately. This really does suck for my free-to-play accounts because I need runes, and now I can't even idle her or him. I'm not really sure what kind of gender Ash is, because of how much value I'm going to lose out on compared to the gear demons. Because Ash only gives runes, but then those gear demons give all those forging resources. So let's say now you found the gear you want. You know what demon you need to idle, you got your 3 blueprints and the required silver. You know about flames, since I explained already, it reduces your chance to fail. Once you successfully forge your gear to legendary, it is given one of the 4 ratings, D, C, B, or A. Why are these important? Well, for the first reason is the better the rating, the better the stats increase. But don't worry if you only got like a D rating. This game makes it so you need to actually get to an S rating before you're even eligible to try and forge the next rarity, so legendary +1. So it's okay, you're gonna get those stats one way or the other, which leads me into the second reason, S rating. So take this legendary weapon I forged from 5-star. I ended up only getting a D rating. This means I need one more blueprint to try and get to that S rating that is showing a very high, I mean very low, 0.2% chance right now. You can use Flames of Truth 3 here, but like I said, I personally don't until I make S rating, since they are so hard to get and you're capped at only 2 per week from the deluxe shop. So as you successfully improve your gear piece rating, the less ratings are available, and that's just going to boost your S rating success overall chance. As you can see, this B rating no longer has D or C, so the A and S are rated much higher. However, you can still fail each time with that 40%. Like I said, I just risk it for the biscuit. You can use flames, it's your call. Each reduces fail chance by 10%, but I save mine. And the main reason I do this is because of this reason. Let's chance it on this piece because I'm very happy with the affix I rolled, minus 5% damage taken. It's the highest percent value that I know of that you can roll on defensive percent stats. If you're looking for a list, I'll leave it in the video description. It's not a full list, it's only what I've accumulated so far from my guild. As we forge pieces, we write in a channel each new affix we get, or affix. One of the 2 things, however you want to pronounce it. Okay, so I got 2 chances, let's go. Come on, let's do this for the video. Let's go, here we go, and here is the reason why I saved those flames. Look at the blueprint requirements for Legendary to Legendary +1. It requires 4. That's a crap load. Now because the fail rate is 50%, that means I need now 5 Flames of Truth 3 in order to remove the chance of failing. As you can see, I now have a 100% success chance, and that's definitely what I want because it requires 4 goddamn blueprints. Imagine risking this and failing. 4 blueprints down the toilet. I don't even want to think about that right now, nor will I, because I simply just won't ever try that. Now let's go over the max forge rarity. So on the screen, you can see everything written out right now. It goes 5-star to Legendary D at the minimum, and then you begin the process. So Legendary C, B, A, then S, Legendary +1, same ratings, Legendary +2, same ratings, and finally Legendary +3, same ratings. So let's just forget about all the other resources for a minute like flames, silver, gemstones, etc. and strictly focus on the blueprints. I really, and I mean really, want the players to understand just how ridiculous this forge system is right now based off of everything I spoke about regarding the lack of basically everything available. 5-star to Legendary D is 3 blueprints. For each Legendary rating, 1 blueprint is required. If you're super lucky, you can skip ratings, say D rating to B rating, skipping C, etc. Is it likely? No. Is it possible? Sure. So that's going to make your total blueprints for a maxed piece less. However, if you fail, and many will, this will increase your total blueprints needed. So let's say you don't skip any ratings and are 100% successful. I wish this is not going to happen. I failed many times. I'm sure everyone else has failed many times already. But Legendary C, B, A, then S, that means it's going to be 4 blueprints total, 1 each. Then from Legendary S to Legendary +1D, it requires 4. We are now at 11 blueprints total. Now the process repeats, however you probably guessed it, the higher the rarity, the bigger the blueprint demand. So Legendary +1 C, B, A, and then S, it's going to remain the same as the previous one, so 4 total, 1 blueprint each. However, here's where they increase. Remember that 4 from Legendary S rating to Legendary +1D? Well, now it's 5. And then from Legendary +2 to 3, it becomes 6. I know this is a lot of numbers, a lot of talking, but I think it's very important to understand just how many blueprints it takes to get a maxed gear piece without skipping any ratings, as the chance of that is, let's be real, it ain't gonna happen often, and also no fails. Like I said, it won't happen, so this is just the bare minimum required, and for 100% of the community, not 99.99999%, 100%, it's gonna be higher. The total minimum blueprints needed would be 34 blueprints, assuming it goes up to Legendary +3 S rating. This is just for 1 gear piece, and like I said, for the player base, this 34 is going to be more like, I don't know, 60 plus unless they make changes. No one, even if you loved Magnum quests, you would do anything for Magnum quests, wants to wait however long this is going to take just for 1 maxed gear piece. Just 1. 1 hero has 4 equipment slots. You can have 5 heroes in your lineup, depending on the game mode, 10 or 15. When they designed this system, they were really thinking long-term, like retirement long-term. So what would I like fixed? I personally think the forge system is a good introduction to the game. You have more ways to obtain better stats for your heroes with the Gear Resonation bonus, the random affixes or affixes, from forging your first legendary gear piece. So yeah, I think this is going to open up different hero builds as you can more freely optimize on top of like with runes, star map, and arcane cards. I think this is a great addition for all players. What I would like fixed is, like I said in the first half, in regards to how to acquire forging resources. Better availability, because the current process is just way too demanding for such little options and rate of success. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this, because like I said, I think this is positive, a good base concept, but it just needs tweaking and not just a little hotfix. I'm talking about this needs work, so it's unfortunate this was the final product they chose to go with and hype everyone up for the recent April version, and I totally stand by the players and share their frustration. But do I have hope? Of course I do. I love this game. I do think they can make changes, but who knows how long they're gonna take. As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.